Welcome to the Plastic Adventures Podcast. I'm Doug, joined by Steve, and we like to talk about toys. A lot.
We're here to take you on a trip down memory lane, a fireside chat, if you will, about those little pieces of plastic that captured our hearts and imaginations.
So join us on this plastic adventure, and let's talk toys. All right, everybody. Today is October 23rd. It was a pretty big day. This weekend, Hasbro had their PulseCon 21, and they had some pretty big reveals. So we're going to spend a lot of our episode today kind of going over some of those things and how we feel about them. I know Steve saw some pretty good things. I saw a lot of things that I'm pretty happy about. And so we'll go ahead and cover those. But before we cover Hasbro PulseCon, Steve, did you have any news that you wanted to bring forward? You showed me a certain ornament that I was jazzed about, so maybe people out there might want to know about that.
Well, I guess it kind of falls under the category of lesser exciting than PulseCon news today.
Yeah.
This one just kind of snuck in. I don't ever remember seeing it, but Hallmark ornaments, Shockwave. I was in a Hallmark store. My wife had to have a Tyler Lockett Hallmark ornament that just came out, and he's doing that really sweet catch, which is all Tyler Lockett does, is make impossible catches. Go Hawks. Except you, Gino. You're no Russell Wilson. Please come back, Russell. Anyways, the Shockwave looks pretty rad. I think they've really been knocking those ornaments out of the park over the last couple of years. It's almost like they 3D scanned the toy, came up with the parts, and then glued it together and painted it up. So that's pretty cool, but very minor news. Another thing I'd like to report is a podcast or two ago, I had been into the local Walmart, and there were no pegs for Ninja Turtles Classics.
Oh, yeah, I remember saying that,
yes. They're back. They're just in a weird spot. Walmart recently did a reissue, or not reissue, but a big reset of the toy department, and everything's just kind of scattered. You got G.I. Joe in this section, and then it kind of has a break in between the aisles, and then it starts in another section. But those are still up, so maybe some hope still yet that we're going to get the Shredder and Splinter and some of those other cool ones from the direct-to-consumer websites that came in, like the Terradrome box and the Turtle Van box. So there's still hope there yet. But one thing that really had me jazzed this week that I saw, McFarlane is doing Dark Knight Returns toys.
Oh.
And they are rad. I mean, the sculpting is great. There was a very unique style to Dark Knight Returns, and it's my absolute favorite graphic novel of all time. So you've got Superman, Batman, the Joker, and Robin, and
Is this beefy Batman?
Yes, it's the big husky Batman.
Right on.
And unlike other superhero costumes where it just basically looks like painted on red or blue or gray muscle, it's really cool because Frank Miller drew it with a lot of texture and wrinkles in the fabric, and the characters just look great. Like they stepped right off of the pages. But if you buy all four figures for the low price of $25 a piece or whatever they are these days, builds Batman's horse.
Oh!
So a really cool sequence when he's gathering up all of the Bat people from the Dark Knight Returns, and he's on that horse, and he's getting ready to lay the law down to Gotham because I think the lights just went out. Very, very cool figures. I have two great ones that have come out. One of them was a direct-to-consumer, and then the other was from this kind of defunct line that Mattel did. But I don't know, maybe I need a third Dark Knight Returns Batman. That's pretty rad. But
I don't know. I like the style of that. The very round, the squarish Batman. The big jawed Batman. I think that's kind of a cool take on it. It's not the Batman that everybody kind of knows and loves, but it's definitely a very cool Batman.
Yeah, small ears, big, like, beefy, thick man body, no more Super V. That's what had me jazzed so much about Justice League and Batman vs. Superman was the directors the production team came up with that bat suit that was just so Dark Knight Returns-esque. And yes, Ben Affleck was a good Batman. They were just bad movies with bad writing. I like the look of Batman in Batman vs. Superman. I actually like the look of a lot of the superheroes in those movies. I'm just not too They just weren't good movies.
Yeah, I didn't like what was it? Justice League with the Steppenwolf bad guy. I didn't feel like he was good enough bad guy.
Well, I think at the time Zack Snyder is looking at 3 movies down the line, so he doesn't want to spend his dark side currency up front and have him come. But yeah,
but I did like the look of them. I mean, I thought they were pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, my favorite Batman is of course always going to be 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. I love that Batman. That's the one that resonates with me.
Pure black suit.
Yeah. And I love Michael Keaton too. I think he's just a great, really cool actor. But everything about that particular movie was what I thought was a perfect Batman. So and then I know that NECA did a Batman in that for '89, and of course now I think they're really super expensive online. You can't find them anywhere. I'd love for them to do a re-release of that kind of Batman.
They skirted the line with that when they first issued that. They did this really sweet Keaton sculpt, and then they painted him up to look like the Nintendo 8-bit Batman. So that was available mainstream, and the only way to get the one painted up in the appropriate '89 colors, this is probably a licensing thing, but it was a pack-in with the Batman '89 Blu-ray. And they had him at Toys R Us, and he kind of came on this Toy Biz-looking card, but the quality control was just piss poor.
Did you end up picking one of those?
I have one, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I got it. I bought it off of either Wish or Mama, and it was the legit deal. It wasn't just some figure in an envelope or like bubble wrap that fell on the floor.
You never know what you're getting with Wish.
It was, yeah. Tell me about it. So it was the legit deal. It was in the package that it was supposed to be in, but like any NECA figure, you try to bend it or move it, and then one little dot of glue comes loose, and a strap breaks, or there's some problem, and just overall the quality was not very high. So maybe. Now that McFarlane is all over these Batman figures and these DC figures, maybe we'll see a sweet '89.
Well, and I know that the Flash movie that's coming out is going to showcase Michael Keaton in the '89 Batman era. So maybe we'll get a good '89 Batman out of that one too, or at least a Batman Returns type of Batman. I don't know, but I'm pretty excited for that, and I'm sure there's going to be some good action figures that come out of that line as well.
Yeah, and McFarlane's they're killing, man. Their action figures are great. The sculpts are really good. The new Dune action figures are all like super realistic to the movie.
I've seen some of those.
Yeah, I ran afoul of some. I shouldn't say afoul. I ran into some today at Marshall's for half price over there in Richland. So. Anybody listening that loves the new Dune movie, it's great. Those figures are $10 a piece at Marshall's right now.
Right on. Cool.
But that's nothing. That is not the real news.
That is not the real news. So we'll get into what we're really wanting to talk about today, and that's Hasbro PulseCon 21. It was yesterday, and today, I think, is it over yet? I think it's over now for today.
They're done.
They're not doing anything tomorrow.
It was done by about 1 o'clock.
Yeah, our time. So there's a lot of stuff that came out about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Steve talk about a certain part of that, and then I'll go in and talk about the parts that I really liked. So
yes. So
take it away.
Yeah. Tip the cap to Power Rangers. That stuff's looking really good. Power Rangers isn't my bag, but Hasbro's been knocking that out of the park the last couple of years. We were talking before the podcast, and there's just something special about that franchise, whether you like it or not. It resonates, it sticks, it stays, and it ain't going anywhere. So a lot of good Power Rangers reveals, but I'm done talking about that. Star Wars, there really wasn't anything that knocked your socks off other than Boba Fake.
Cobb Vanth. That figure.
Looked rad. It did. It's a great figure, and it looked like there is a HasLab Rancor, or Black Series Rancor.
There is.
Trying to get going. That's, you're guaranteed, if that's going to fit with the 6-inch scale figures, that Rancor is going to be like 20 inches tall.
It's going to be ginormous.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. We have a prototype that you can see on HasbroPulse.com right now, and it looks like it's pushing all the right buttons if you want a giant Rancor.
You have to give it a place at the dinner table when you get it home.
And then you won't be married.
Pick your battles. Pick your battles.
Actually, kind of what had me jazzed is the Transformers reveals. So we really didn't know where we were going after Earthrise and Kingdom. There were so many great G1 versions of the figures that came out, particularly with Kingdom. You know, you literally had them in their G1 forms. What was next? You know, are they going to do something funny and turn them all into animals, or we really didn't have a clear picture of the line. But there's been some things leaking, SKU numbers from stores, DCPI numbers with certain descriptions. So we had like Blaster and Skids we knew were coming, Drag Strip. But what were they going to be like? Well, they revealed their plans, and how the concept is continuing is instead of just Earthrise, Kingdom, all of that story arc is done. The new story arc is that different characters from different eras are being pulled together to take on some sort of galaxy-threatening menace, because they can't just threaten a cityscape at this point, a city-state, or a township, fiefdom. It's got to be like the entire universe is at stake. But that's
is it going to be like a multiverse thing?
Yes, it is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're going to get Beast Wars characters. There's a really cool G1-ified Bulkhead, who is a character that I think got popularized in Transformers Animated. Big green, like, army truck. And there's pictures of that one that came out, and he's really G1 looking. Very, very cool.
Does look pretty slick.
Skids, who definitely, there's a hole in my collection for that one. There's a bunch of announcements for, like, Blaster, and we actually got to see our first Insecticon, which is going to be a deluxe class kickback. So really awesome seeing those. We're just used to the little scout class Insecticons, which literally are the size of insects compared to the other Transformers. So they're never terribly menacing with the main line for scale-wise. But I was really excited about that. I think it was Drag Strip that got revealed, a yellow stock car. That was really cool.
So you know what's cool about Drag Strip, right?
You know the rest are coming.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you know the rest are coming. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That machine, that wheel ain't slowing down. They're going to keep churning out these $22, $10 figures that we're going to keep buying. So yeah, had pictures of Drag Strip. I was really excited because it had leaked a few months ago that maybe there was a Laser Optimus Prime coming. And they've tried to do that a few times in the line as a smaller, like a deluxe scale figure. To varying degrees of success, but this is the full meal deal. It's the $50 leader class figure. The cab transforms into a very, very accurate, like G2 style Optimus Prime. Even the colors, the wacky colors, are retained.
And the shoulder missile.
Yeah, the big bulky shoulders.
Awesome.
I always liked that design for some reason. I just wasn't into the colors, but it's Optimus Prime. Oh yes, it will be mine. I have to have it on the shelf.
We will find it.
So there were really good reveals there. A lot of digital media reveals, but G1 is alive and well. We did not get to see Blaster, which I was hoping we would. That's supposed to be a Voyager class figure, so about the same scale as Optimus Prime from the Kingdom line, so somewhere in that size. We didn't get to see any new Dinobots, which are rumored to be coming.
I know we'll see these guys later. I have a feeling we will.
Oh, yeah. So, really, really cool Transformers reveals, but it wasn't as in-depth as some years have been and deep. It was, a half dozen. There's a Galvatron reissue that's being made in translucent plastic, so you watch out for that one.
I know.
It's supposed to be Megatron reformatted to Galvatron, and it comes with these funny little slug figures, little solid pieces of plastic that I think are to interact with your HasLab Unicron if you had a job which pays more than mine. Spoiler alert, I didn't. So I didn't buy a $500 Unicron.
That thing looked cool, though.
It's awesome.
It's huge.
It's super awesome. We did not get to see the Metroplex Redeco that we know is coming. So there's still a lot of cool stuff out there. I guess there's a Leader Class Motor Master that they're looking at. So it'll be interesting to see how Leader Class Motor Master interacts with the Deluxe Class Stunticons, which I think that's about the right scale for it. So,
yeah. He would be the center mass, and they would be the limbs. So
yeah, so pretty jazzed about that. But as cool as all of that is I guess it's cool for Power Rangers. As cool as that was, Star Wars that didn't show much. The biggest news was from a place where we least expected it. We had the least expectations from. So why don't you talk about the best part of PulseCon today?
All right, so that puts the ball, excuse me, gosh, the ball in my corner. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is today's PulseCon news. So, like Transformers and Star Wars, 80 franchises are going strong. And we were not expecting, at least if you took last year as an example, how big the next franchise actually is going to be going into 2022. And G.I. Joe came back during this PulseCon with a vengeance.
Strong heartbeat.
Oh gosh, yes, and it's everything I was hoping it would be. So we'll first start off with the first G.I. Joe reveal, which was when we were talking back. Steve and I were kind of going, oh, what would we like to see if they made a reveal for G.I. Joe Classified? Who would we want? And we wanted things like Torpedo. We wanted a Torpedo. We wanted Eels, which I think would be a great 6-inch figure.
Be sweet.
Can you imagine if they released like a 2-pack with Torpedo and Eels or Wetsuit and Eels? Man,
great.
Gosh.
The next $300 scalped 2-pack from Target.
My gosh, that would just be so phenomenal. We haven't seen a diver yet. But anyway, the big news, first start off, was the 6-inch bats for G.I. Joe Classified. This was a figure that I was very, very hopeful for, and right off the bat they showed him first, and I was like, oh gosh, yes, this is perfect. It's what I wanted. 6-inch bat, articulated like the rest of the G.I. Joe Classified, detailed like the rest of them, but he's got a little bit of an update. So it looks like one of his heads is swappable. One head has battle damage and one head doesn't. There was a 3 3/4 inch bat that also had the same kind of feel where you could swap out their heads for that. But one of the other things is that the old bat had an open chest. You could see his inner workings and really cool lenticular sticker and stuff like that. Well, they kind of taken that design, but what they've added was a cover that goes over that.
Looks cool.
So you can take the cover off and see the inner workings, but you can put the cover back on, which is a great idea. I thought that was really cool. So it kind of gives an update to a figure that we already like, but it gives you still have that old black and yellow and silver feel, which is a beautiful, beautiful design.
Yeah, it really toned the yellow down. It looked like it was some web gear that was going to be in the yellow.
Yep.
I didn't get the best look at it because we had real world stuff that we were doing today and kind of checking in on PulseCon as it was happening. So bats, it was a really cool 3 3/4 design. Does this new one still have rolled up sleeves showing his robot biceps, or are we beyond that?
No, man, he does. He's got rolled up sleeves, and his robot arms are beastly, and they're just it's a great looking figure.
It looks cool.
I love looking at this thing.
Red,
yeah. The only thing I'm worried about this figure is this is an army builder figure. Okay, so
great.
Which means
you're right.
that it's going to be gone before we get a chance to see it on shelf. Scalpers are going to pick this bad boy up, and he's going to be sold for more than he may actually be worth. I still have not got a 6-inch Viper from the Classified series. I don't know if I'm going to have to bite the bullet on that one if I want him, but...
Well, I had heard somebody was paraphrasing about the panel, because that was darn near unwatchable, but Target is taking some big steps to remedy their issues when the pre-orders come.
Okay.
The stuff when you log on right at 7 a.m. and they're completely sold out within 8 seconds, or... Mm-hmm. Your stuff doesn't appear in the cart, all those ordering issues, they're supposed to smooth that out. And I would think that, God willing, they put more than like 5,000 up for pre-order. They know the demand is there.
Well,
it's happening.
Yeah.
So
I know, like today on the Hasbro site for the pre-orders and stuff for this first later G.I. Joes we'll talk about, they were already sold out.
Yeah, it was rough sailing.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, so Bats was the first one.
Yep.
Super excited about. Second one was one that we've already seen, but they're making it more of a mass-produced one, which is the Zartan color changer that was only available at Comic-Con, but he's finally going to be available for us. Which is, he doesn't look too much different from the Zartan that we have now that was on the shelf. He's got some silver highlights on him that weren't on that one. But the big thing is that his skin changes to a blue color.
Doesn't he have extra masks too?
He does. He does have a couple of extra heads. So
Color changes. Cool.
Yeah, but the figure, I was saying that the figure himself doesn't look too much different than what we've got, other than the fact that there's silver highlights and his skin changes blue. Which, don't get me wrong, I want it. Yeah. I'm not putting this figure down at all. But there are other better figures coming up. One thing that we should say that we saw I saw that I really liked was the art that's going to be on these boxes. They also highlighted the art, which is very stylized.
It's changing up on a couple.
It is. They've kind of bounced back and forth between a realism versus a stylized kind of look in the past, and these ones all kind of are very, very, I don't want to say cartoony, but they're definitely not as real as some of the other box art we've seen. But that doesn't mean it's bad, it just means that it's a little different, that's all it is. And Zartan has some pretty good box art. Alright, the next figure, which I would never have guessed in a million years, was the one that was coming up in the lineup, Tiger Force Outback.
Yeah.
So I love Outback. Outback is a great figure. Tiger Force is a bit of an odd for a first if we're going to release this kit.
Especially the deco of that Tiger Force Outback.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they did funky things with the hair color, like Duke's hair turned brown.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you had Tiger Force Outback went from being a redheaded like Chuck Norris.
This old man Logan.
Yeah.
The accessories though look stellar.
Yeah, cool.
He's got his great huge backpack, his very iconic flashlight attached to his leg there. So they did keep a lot of the elements of the figure that should be there. I wouldn't have gone with Tiger Force Outback as the first Outback, because the first one with the yellow and the survival and the red hair, and I mean, come on, that's a good looking figure.
Target exclusives, so I wonder if they're trying to get away from making Target exclusives super desirable, because they're going to go Python Patrol and Tiger Force is the theme coming up this coming year for the releases. So I wonder if maybe the Target stuff will be a little bit more out there, not like mainstream, making certain characters like Viper or Beachhead Target exclusives, and then nobody gets them. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not like I'm totally turned off by this figure by any means. It was just an odd, an odd first nod to this character. But I mean, he looks good. His sculpt looks good. The detail is magnificent, so he'll fit right in with all of the other 6-inch classified figures. One of the interesting accessories he's got a trowel. Did you know that? Like a ditch digging shovel.
Oh yeah, the trenching tool.
Yeah. He's got that. So he's holding that, and he's got his gun. I'm like, okay, well, he'll beat you and then dig your grave with it, I guess.
Maybe he'll have like some Bear Grylls survival hatchet, since it's an updated figure. Who the hell knows?
Who knows? But it still looks good. The next figure was the Python Patrol Viper, which another Viper I won't get. Go right into the army builders, sculptors, or scalpers bags. But it's still a beautiful figure. The Python Patrol was really kind of cool with the yellows and the reds and the weird like greenish color.
Yeah, and they had like this,
like a cross netting.
Cross hatched kind of a thing. It was kind of cool. I actually like the Python Patrol colors better than the Tiger Force. Yeah. The Python Patrol was definitely really cool. And I know that the Python Patrol, they're making it the Cobra's answer to the Tiger Force, which I see what they're going for, kind of like a subset of figures for the line. Those are the Target exclusives. So thankfully, other characters that might be highly desirable might have a shot. Picking them up in Walmart.
Which are the next ones that are coming up. But definitely, I have nothing bad to say about those two figures other than I probably won't be able to see them. I probably won't get them.
Well, they're running out of roadblocks.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, so the other one was I think it's the Python Patrol Bats that was out. So it's like, that one looks really cool. It's a Bats, the same as the other 6-inch that they revealed. It's just a retooled, recolored Bats version. So it's got the red mask, the maroon shirt, but definitely still has the yellow highlights and things like that. So there's nothing nothing different from the reveal of that bats to the earlier one, other than it was just a recolored.
We got bats.
Yeah, we finally got bats. And the box art for those two guys are incredible. All right, so the next one was a figure that I did not see coming, but I'm so glad hit the shelves, or is going to be hitting the shelves. Spirit with Freedom.
Dude, that...
Tell me.
I don't... I mean, these the reveals are also good, but Spirit looks so good.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, that sculpt, everything about him just looks awesome.
So, I've always loved the figure as a kid. Spirit was always one of my favorites. And I loved it when he would square off with Storm Shadow in the cartoons. And I always felt that was a better rivalry than Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. I always felt that their fights were always better because they had this honor thing that went with it. You know, it was really cool. There was during the PulseCon, Spirit was revealed by one of the singers or rappers from the Black Eyed Peas. So he said that he was very happy with it, that Spirit was always one of those that allowed them to have representation as Native Americans within a line that was always dominated by, white males, which I can understand that. I mean, you want to see something that looks like you in something that you like. I get it.
That's one of the best things about G.I. Joe, though. It's so super diverse.
Yeah.
And everybody's a badass.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just because Spirit is Native American doesn't mean that I can't like that guy. I love that character. Yep. Oh my gosh, there's something about him that is just so cool. And so
great design and just cool overall.
Overall, yeah, just really cool. He's got a lot of great accessories. He doesn't have the arrow gun anymore. So he's got a sniper's rifle, like a scouting rifle, which actually looks pretty cool.
I have not seen it. Does it look like some kind of bolt action hunting rifle?
Yeah, it does. It has a scope on it and things like that. But his backpack does look similar to the one that he had before. The cool thing... What's wrong?
I was just thinking about his original accessory. How absurd is an
arrow gun? I know, it's basically a crossbow, but not.
Over-engineered. Just give the guy a...
okay, they went a little too far into the... we need to make this guy Native American and make sure everybody knows.
At least it wasn't a tomahawk launching gun or some absurd thing like that.
Oh man, no! This gun is a little more real.
Didn't that make it into one of the accessory packs too?
Yeah. His arrow gun
almost makes more sense for a dreadnought to have a circular saw blade or a spinning blade on the end of a rifle than an arrow gun.
Yeah, in the accessory pack for that specific gun, I cut off the arrows to make it look more like a rifle back then. And I didn't do that with his original gun, but the accessory pack gun got totally bastardized. I cut those things off.
Some G.I. Joe guns, more misses than hits there.
Yeah.
That's one of them. So thank God, we got an actual cool looking gun with him.
Yeah. The coolest accessory, though, with Spirit is Freedom.
Yep.
So Freedom is his eagle, which the cool thing about this one is it has two different modes. We call them modes, but so he has the wings where you can attach them where they're back, and he's in his kind of like just regular standing mode where he's on Spirit's shoulder or his arm, and then he has his flight mode where you can make the wings go out. Cool. So I think they're a detachable one where you detach the wings and put them in, and then you do whatever. Still, either way, very cool. Spirit and Freedom. I'm looking forward to that one. So if there's ever on the shelf, Spirit needs to get picked up.
That's probably, out of the reveals, that's probably my favorite out of all of them.
It is. It was the one that came out of nowhere that I was like, wow, they actually did it, and I'm so glad they did it. So so far all of the G.I. Joe classifieds have been really good. Even the odd Cobra Island Roadblock. I don't have that one, but I mean it's an all right figure. It's a decent figure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool.
Spirit is high on my list of ones I need, and so is the next one. So the next one is Storm Shadow. So Storm Shadow has already been released in the classified series, but he was more of the ceremonial. He had the black and the gold and the white, and the more of the like a hooded ninja head. Still a cool figure. I can't get a hold of him. He's still one that I would love to have. But this Storm Shadow is the one that everybody's been wanting. It's like, why didn't we get this one in the initial release? This is the one that looks like the 1983 issue of Storm Shadow.
Yeah, no sleeves.
No sleeves. Got the forearm guards. He's white. He's not an off-white, tan, whatever. He doesn't have all the unnecessary uniform things that all the other Storm Shadows have. He is straight classic ninja Storm Shadow.
Yeah, looks absolutely terrific.
He's gorgeous. He's absolutely gorgeous. And all of his accessories are Storm Shadow accessories. He comes with the nunchuck. He comes with the two katanas, the larger and the smaller. He comes with the bow. His pack is filled with arrows. So, yeah, it's Storm Shadow, and it's Storm Shadow as he should be. And so to have him released with Spirit is...
That is super cool.
That is super cool. That is so cool. So I am very happy to see Storm Shadow, this version of Storm Shadow, in the classified lineup.
Oh yeah, totally rad figure. I'm 100% about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the next one is one also I did not see coming, but he's often the butt of many of our jokes. Him and his brother Raptor.
Well, no, this is the guy that runs the HR department for Cobra, because you got to put the guy somewhere. His specialty is so odd. Yeah.
Destro, introduce our next character, please.
I would very pleased to introduce you to the head of HR for Cobra, Crocmaster.
Crocmaster.
Thank you very much, Destro.
No,
Is it possible?
It's actually more like, thank you, Destro. I got this done with me, and I don't know why I wear this. Maybe that's swamp fumes, maybe? I don't know.
This is my gimp mask. I look like Bane.
I was raised in the dark.
I was raised. You went to the swamp. I was raised in it.
Molded by it. Anyway, Bane / Crocmaster is the next.
That's the only voice that guy can have.
I can't picture him having any other voice.
Yes.
He's Bane Master. Croc Bane. Anyway, all joking aside, the character looks crazy cool. He looks crazy cool.
For however insane that character is. If you ever think that Joes look like village people, just where in the left field hell did Crocmaster come from?
But that said, though, I have to say I love the figure. He looks cool. He looks like Crocmaster, of course. He's got the ginormous arms, though. His arms are huge. But the selling point, I think, for Crocmaster is the crocodile. What's the crocodile's name? It's not Lucille.
I didn't even know his crocodile.
Oh, his crocodile has a name. I remember. I used to know it. Anyway, I'll probably remember it after the podcast. But the cool thing about this one is that it has a rubber posable tail. So it's not a static crocodile.
It's not like a hard clump of plastic. It actually has some posability.
It does. His legs move. His jaw closes. His tail is able to be posed. It looks really cool. So and it looks very detailed, as you would expect it to be from the classified series. So some of the cooler little accessories that came with this Crocmaster are baby crocodiles.
Oh,
he raises crocodiles.
Okay.
He has baby crocodiles.
No, just stop. Hold on.
I was afraid to mention that.
Who in Cobra, and I want, this is a Dr. Evil moment for me. Who in Cobra made the call to hire a crocodile raising guy? That's what he does for Cobra. What are they gonna do? Send out like an army of crocodiles that don't care about anything but
yes,
eating, sick them on Joe?
No, think about it. Okay,
crocodile
think about it.
Raising guy.
You have the Terradrome in the middle of the swamp. That's usually where they show it, right? Terradrome is in the middle of the swamp. And then you're surrounded by alligators that you can control. Or crocodiles that you can control, that were raised by Crocmaster since they were hatched out of the egg. Come on. It's 80s, bro!
Raptor. makes more sense.
No, he doesn't.
Cosplay Chicken Hawk makes more sense to me being on Cobra than Croc Master. I mean, did the commander just get done doing a mountain of blow?
He's like,
Tomax and Zaymont, and they're getting high and crazy too. It's a scene like off of Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh no! Oh no!
Is crazy doped up, and he's like,
I've got an idea for a villain.
We need an animal handler, but let's just get the one that does crocodiles.
It's a reptile theme. It flows.
The Baroness has got white powder all over her black suit.
That's a great idea, Commander.
And you get Tomax and Zaymont looking at each other, but they don't want to piss the boss off because they've been laundering money from all of his schemes. And the only guy in the room's like,
You've got to be goddamn kidding me.
Tomax and Zaymon are the ones that will be like, yeah, Cobra, go for it, do it, great idea.
And Major Blood just leaves the room.
That's so racist.
It's
You're
racist.
against Australians.
I should be the croc handler here, not him.
The crocodile. The wrangler.
Or did Cobra just get hit with a huge affirmative action lawsuit or something where they had to hire from all sects and all walks
I
of
can
life?
see them be audited, and there's a guy flipping through like these pages, and he's like sitting down with Cobra Kai. He's like, I don't see any crocodile handlers on your roster here. I think, you have a problem. This could become a problem. You need to find a crocodile handler right away. Also, a man dressed as a raptor. That's a need, Cobra Commander.
So you better get on that. You got 30 days before we come back, and then you're going to get fined. Destro, I'm begging you, quit now.
Quit now while we're ahead.
I know he's too far deep. He owes you too much money. That line of credit's been extended for the gear, but walk away, Destro.
Cut your losses. Okay, so the last 6-inch figure that was revealed that I saw was the Baroness from the Cobra or the Snake Eyes movie.
Oh, I thought that one's already made it out to shelves.
There was this is a newer one. I think this is a newer mold that is for that particular one. Now, Baroness is one that I've always think that they've gotten wrong recently.
It's such a simple design. How do you get it wrong?
Yeah, I know. So I was really happy when I saw the initial 6-inch release of this figure when she came with the red bike, the motorcycle. I felt that one was a little bit more how Baroness should be, but I think even in the the other lines of G.I. Joe, the 3 3/4 ones and everything, I think they just haven't quite captured the Baroness the way that she should be. And I feel that's the same way with this Baroness from the Snake Eyes, although they're getting closer.
Well, at least they didn't put her in the weird blue suit with the yellow highlights. From,
I would have been happier with that, I think. But this one is a little bit closer. I'm not a fan of her hairstyle, but whatever. Hair is hair. So, but
especially when you don't have any.
But there was nothing spectacular, at least that jumped out for me as from this figure. I would have been more happy with a Scarlet or maybe or a CoverGirl. I think would have been a great one since we already had a Baroness. And I heard that they were going to be releasing the Baroness that came with the motorcycle separately. I heard that was the thing that they're going to be doing now.
Nice apology to everybody who doesn't want to buy one for $300 on eBay.
Yeah. So but like I said, this one there was nothing too spectacular about it, at least that for me. But the next reveal was the big thing that I absolutely loved. Okay, so Steve and I, in a previous podcast, said, hey, if we could make these retro lines better, what would we do? And we said, G.I. Joe, we had a problem with the current line of retro figures from G.I. Joe. They were taken from a too soon modern line, mostly from the, what was it, the...
25th and Pursuit of Cobra.
And the Pursuit of Cobra.
50th anniversary.
Yeah, they were taken from those lines and slapped on some of the original card art, which seemed kind of lazy to us.
Over encumbered. The bubble doesn't sit in a good place on the card. Half the time the characters hardly match the art on the card. So
yep.
Yeah, it was hard to choke that down and take that as a retro line.
I agree. Even though I did have them, I have them and I liked them. I just think that they didn't quite hit the mark. Well, they fixed that this go around. They did not show any new retros from that line. Instead, they decided to show us a retro from the O-ring line. And that was one of the things that we said. If they wanted to fix this retro line, release O-rings. And they are. And I think they're doing it in a spectacular way. So the first look at O-rings that we got was a 2-pack of Snake Eyes in his original Commando outfit, and Storm Shadow, his first version Storm Shadow, with all of his accessories. So it comes in a nifty, nice collector's box, and I didn't know that they were going to be carded separately. Steve told me right before we were doing this that he's like, "Oh no, they're going to be carded separately, and they have their original card art, and they look good." And so, Steve, I know you like to have this storefront display of how the figures are, and so I feel that these ones are going to go right into your collection.
It's a tough one. I've only got 3 facings for Joe, so I'm not sure if I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I have a 4-foot section of retail racking in my toy room, and it is merchandised to look like an 80s toy store, scaled down for one 4-foot section. These retros look so good. I don't know where I'm going to put another 4 foot of store racking in there. They're just, I mean,
you have to put it in your bedroom.
Yeah, these are not the original molds, but they had to have done 3D scans of the original parts and reproduced. And I mean, this is down to the screw in the back, presumably some form of O-ring in the center, screws that hold the thighs together, and rivets in the arms. We talked about this some other point where I just thought it wasn't feasible. We talked about the safety issues, the construction method to make the toys, and
or all the reasons why they haven't done it yet.
Yeah, or wouldn't, because it would be too much of an investment for Hasbro, and
they proved us wrong.
Oh my God! Doug texted me seconds after I saw the review, and I almost wish I was sitting down on the toilet. I mean, it just surprised me that much. And these figures are so accurate to the originals.
The thing I really like about this release, this particular release, that is different than all of the other reissues of Snake Eyes, is they've got his 1.5 waist correct. He is no longer wearing a black molded roadblock waist from version 2 roadblock or whatever. He's got his original waist back, which is what he should have had.
Yeah. He comes with the satchel.
He comes with the satchel and the Uzi. He also comes with
probably a weird pack in with Snake Eyes version
3
or
yeah. Which I don't have any problem with that sword and backpack. That the Commando Snake Eyes didn't come with any swords when he was originally released. But then again, I'm not knocking it either. I mean,
I don't know if the guy was supposed to have swords originally, but
I don't know.
Thanks, Larry Hama.
But I do know that I'm going to be hunting for that particular O-ring set. Well, because it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and it went up live at 5 p.m. Eastern. No, it was 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I put 2 in the cart. 1 set for you, 1 set for me.
I love you,
And
Steve.
when I left my house before the podcast today, it was still spinning, figuring out if it was going to charge my card or not, because everything was selling out so quick.
So fast.
If this is a...
But I have a feeling that they'll keep them coming.
Yes.
Like, they're not going to this is a one and done. They're going to keep them coming.
And it is just so refreshing. The 2-packs are $39.98. So...
It's steep.
One of 2 things. It'll be like sort of the thing where they did the exclusive classified Snake Eyes that was a little bit more than the regular classified. Maybe we're going to see these figures at $14.99 a piece, but I mean $19.99 might be the price point for carded O-ring Joes. They look so awesome. I will pay the extra money to get the ones that I want, and I will have them in my collection.
Well, it could also be that this is how they're reintroducing the O-rings. This is a twofer for this one. We're bringing him back, but who knows in the future where we might get single carded more O-rings, not just Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, but more O-ring
exactly
figures.
What they did with the Secret Wars style Marvel figures.
Yeah,
they did.
They released them as boxes, and then they released them single carded afterwards.
So that is so relieving. And you take a look at that Storm Shadow; he's perfect.
Yeah.
He's got the opening backpack. He's got the chucks. He's got the katana and wakizashi. A bow.
Yeah.
I mean, that figure is so awesome, and I don't know how you could possibly top the announcement of O-Ring coming back, but they did.
They did, and they did it in a very spectacular fashion. So the last reveal for G.I. Joe was the Sky Striker, and it's a new Sky Striker that looks like the old Sky Striker. So what they said during the Hasbro PulseCon was that they took the Sky Striker design, they took the Sky Striker mold, and they updated it a little bit with some things that they should have been. In fact, they updated it so much that Northrop Grumman has given it the seal of approval as an official product for Northrop Grumman. So it's
I don't even know what that means.
Northrop Grumman is the people who made the F-14 Tomcat.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so they have the seal of approval from them that this is as close as they can get it. So before I talk about some of the things I noticed that I would like to have seen, let's talk about some of the things that they did add to it. So one of the things that they added was an update to the swing wing availability of the jet. So as the old one was, you only had wings were back, the wheels were up, or the wings were out and the wheels were down, and that was it. Now we have the option of having the wings back and the wheels up, or the wings out and the wheels up. So there are two mechanisms that allow for that to happen, and I am super, super thankful for that, because I've always loved the idea of having the wings back on the F-14 Tomcat, but also being able to display it with the wings back and on the wheels, which is how in the Navy, that's how we parked them. You know, that's how we moved them around.
You
on
just suck the wheels in and sitting flat on the deck. Yeah.
No. But the other cool thing about these is that, actually, there's a lot of cool things. So the missiles and the missile placements and all of the missile type of accessories that come along with this are all customizable. There's not a set place that you want to put them. You can put them anywhere you want to, in any combination that you want to. It comes with all different kinds. It comes with the Sidewinders. It comes with the Heat Seeking. It comes with the Phoenix. All great, really good missiles, and very, very customizable. It also has a display base, which is also very cool for the Sky Striker. I have a Sky Striker, and there's really only two ways to display. Well, three ways. You either hang it from your ceiling, you display it with your wings back but facing up, or wings out on its wheels, and none of those are ideal, I don't think. But now you can display it any way you want to, and it comes with this display base that allows you. It has a swivel, so you can have it going up, going down, off to the side, banking. Very, very cool. Another update is they've added some more tooling, some details to the outside of the Tomcat to make it look more realistic.
Sensor array.
Yep, the sensor array. It even has the that comes out the front. I forget what that's called, but
technical term.
That's a technical term. The cockpit now is two separate pieces of plastic.
Yep. Like
the original Tomcat should be. It has the forward piece of plastic that is in front of the pilot, and then it breaks and comes up for the cockpit opening. Awesome. I mean, I've looked at the Sky Striker so many times, and we'd be like, if I could fix it, what would I do? And some of these things, they fixed it right off the bat. Another cool is that they have multiple sticker applications for this. Yep. You could go original Sky Striker. You could go authentic F-14. Then there's other ones that they just like, hey, just go have fun. Just do whatever you want. Here's a whole sticker sheet of just random stickers. Go do what you want. Which I think is also pretty cool, because I think we'll see some pretty cool customizations coming out of this. We'll see them online. One thing I did notice that I was hoping that they would fix that they did not, and maybe it's because of the figure placement within the vehicle. The forward landing gear is still in the wrong position. So the forward landing gear on the Tomcat is supposed to be under the nose, under the pilot. It comes down and it's up there. So it's way too far back on the Sky Striker, but they needed to be able to put the figures in there, and they had the forward mounted missiles, which would have gotten in the way of the landing gear. So
makes sense for the term of toy design.
For toy design, but not for authentic F-14 design. Let's see. Oh, they have cloth parachutes.
Oh, that's cool.
Instead of the plastic parachutes. So each individual chair now has a cloth parachute.
2 ejection seats.
Well, there were 2 ejection seats in the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never owned one. Doug's got one. It's
Yeah.
sweet. I don't want to touch it because it'll disintegrate.
But the second seat is what's important in this next release. So not only does the Sky Striker come with Ace, as he should be looking, but it comes with a second pilot now.
Yeah.
What's his
Dude,
name?
the green shirt pilot.
Yeah, well, he looks like a authentic F-14 pilot to me. I'm trying to scroll through these pictures real quick.
So you've got Ace that looks like the Michelin Man.
Yeah,
With the space helmet.
and then the co-pilot,
And
or
then
the
the
Rio,
co-pilot.
who looks like a pilot should,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So he's got his flight suit on, he's got his flight vest on, he's got an appropriate helmet. Everything looks good. I'm not knocking that. So, and then there's also the ground support that comes along with this. So they have the missile cart that holds extra missiles, and they have the fuel cart that actually has
that's
a
cool.
retracting fuel line that doesn't necessarily go into the right position for fueling. Okay, as a Navy guy, I'm going to point out every aspect that's wrong with this. But the idea, the toy play, is very on point.
I mean,
It looks
it's
very
almost
good.
like a play set rather than
Oh
a
yeah,
vehicle.
it's very, very good. And so for $230 a pop on HasLab, I'm sure they will meet their quota quickly, and I'm sure they're going to reach those stretch goals very quickly, in which case we'll see a blue Scarlet in Ace's
Flight suit.
flight
Yep.
suit,
Yep.
and then we'll see two new figures that have never been released, ground crew figures
Yes,
for
hostages of Cobra. Yes.
the first ones to get killed in the line of duty. They're the red shirts, right? But those two ground crew are going to be part of that. So
And the stretch goal, Ripcord.
oh, and that's right, Ripcord.
Yep.
So-
and they're going to do him in Night Force colors. If we hit the stretch goal, which it will.
It will.
These suckers are going to fly like hotcakes, and
Yep.
it's every bit 100% worth the $230. But knowing that the Night Force Ripcord is coming with his original cool-looking accessories, that's got to mean that mold is now there and available for
Somewhere.
standard Ripcord.
So we should be seeing
One of
some.
my absolute favorite Joes, even though he's really plain meat and potatoes, he just had a super cool look.
Yeah.
So jazzed
Yeah.
about that one.
So O-Ring come back with a vengeance this
What a
time.
surprise, man! The fans, the Facebook groups that I belong to, oh, we want O-Ring back, and I'd see that and I'd be like, not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rivets and it's screws and it's parts that have to be assembled. It's not just, a couple hunks of plastic that they press together when they're hot.
Right.
When they put the figures together, and then some kid doing minimal paint apps on it in China, and then out they go. I mean, these things require some assembly, so I can understand a $15 or $20 price point now. It's not 1984 anymore and $2.97 a piece, but
That's sad.
what a surprise. I was the biggest naysayer, the biggest poo-pooer that we would never see it again, and that's what started it all for me.
Yeah.
I love the O-rings, so this is just a huge surprise today.
Don't tell me that you're not happy.
Oh, I am
mean,
beyond ecstatic.
Yeah. Like,
I was running out of things for Hasbro to take my money on, so welcome back, G.I. Joe.
Oh,
And
G.I. Joe.
now
Like I
we
said,
can
2020.
rethink the way I display my figures.
yeah.
I have some vintage on Beggar's Canyon cards, which are just outstanding, and I have some fun school stuff that is behind those to pad it and make it look like my shelves are full. But damn, these figures are so good,
I
and
know.
they are so close to the original. I mean, it's almost like what they've done with the Star Wars 5 POA. They're not the originals, but they're just so spot on.
They're
to the
damn near
originals.
close.
So,
They're damn near close.
boy, you just got a bunch of really excited, old, sweaty, 40-something bald guys that are going to be out there looking for this stuff. So I'm jazzed.
Yeah, and when you're out there cruising the aisles, say hi. Don't be embarrassed. We're all out there together. We're all collecting toys. It's our passion. Okay, so that said, I didn't see anything else that was of note after that. Those were the ones I really wanted to see were the Star Wars, the Transformers, and the G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but I mean, what a reveal for G.I. Joe. It's just...
Well, the G.I. Joe has taken the back burner for so many years recently.
With the movie industry being what it was, it did not surprise me. Classified was supposed to launch with Snake Eyes the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be a reintroduction, and Snake Eyes ended up probably not being everybody's cup of tea for a movie, it was somewhat disappointing. But it's released in a bad time when we don't have everybody packing theaters.
Yeah.
So for G.I. Joe to be off to this super rocky start for reintroduction, and to be where we're at now, boy, they're firing on all cylinders.
They are.
And it won't be long. We'll see more reveals, and there will be more 3 3/4 vehicles coming. But this is probably the first PulseCon where everything revealed from a particular line was just like home runs.
Well,
it's like
yeah.
a bases empty grand slam that they hit. That's how exciting it
Well,
is.
even the Star Wars one, which I wasn't too particularly thrilled about, they didn't disappoint, though. I mean, they have a 3-pack Obi-Wan Kenobi in the cantina with Walrus Man and Dr. Evzian, or whatever his name is.
I'm really important. Just ask me.
They got a 3-pack coming up with him for the 6 inches, which are kind of cool. I mean, Star Wars collectors like to have every possible character that was ever on screen for whatever reason. So, yeah, that was a good reveal. I don't think you can go wrong with an Obi-Wan figure, by the way. Obi-Wan, Alec Guinness is just remarkable.
It's classic
so
at this point.
I'm certainly okay with it, and I'm not knocking it in any way. I just know that I was way more excited for the G.I. Joe panel and the Transformer panel. Now, the Transformer panel was lacking compared to G.I. Joe, but that doesn't mean that the real reveals were not any less spectacular.
No, and giving us a little bit of clarity on what direction the line is taking, because we really didn't know. And all it really means is that there is just a whole passel of terrific-looking G1 homages that are coming out to the shelves. So, I collect a lot of the G1-looking Autobots. That's the one, full-line thing that I get into and I collect a lot of. I don't collect Decepticons, but seeing them fill in the ranks with some just outstanding molds coming, knowing that we are just still firmly doing this concept with updating G1 and getting that out there. I mean, I still got some good G1s to buy and to replace, so it was really super good news. But boy, that just G.I. Joe just knocked it out of the
They
park.
did. That was the one that was
show.
absolutely the star of the show. It was the one that made me go, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And next year is going to belong to G.I. Joe and Transformers. 2022 is going to be strong for Hasbro, I have a feeling.
Yep.
I have a very big feeling.
Welcome back, Joe. You've been missed.
Yes, you have. Very much so. And so, like I said, Spirit, Storm Shadow, Bats. Oh, man. Even the wonky Tiger Force Outback. I'm so happy to have them. So happy. So, that was what we saw for all the interesting things from PulseCon. Is there anything else you want to yak about?
If any disgruntled Power Ranger fans want to light us up, certainly do in the comments below. And,
you're more than welcome to do that.
I know there's something special, but I'm not into it. So.
Yeah. All right, so that brings this one to a close. As usual, Steve, thanks for coming over and doing this podcast. I'm having fun doing it. I hope we continue to do it, and I hope somebody out there, even if it's just one person, listens to our podcast and gives us a like. If you like us even more than that, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll know whenever we upload a video. And in the future, maybe we'll get a little bit more creative with some of the stuff we do. Maybe we'll do short videos or something. I do know that we are planning on going to the toy show that is in Spokane in November.
Inland Washington Toy Show, Spokane, Washington. 13th of November.
13th of November, and I plan to do a little bit of a video of a walk around and kind of picking up some of the stuff that we see, so maybe you'll see some of the stuff that we score there. So looking forward to that.
Maybe we'll get some collection pics or something and start intersplicing it with our very awesome Plastic Adventures screens that flip from time to time, designed by your very talented son.
Yeah, he's working on some more of us, so we'll see some pretty cool stuff coming up that way too.
Sweet. All right, that's a wrap, brother.
That is a wrap. All right, see you guys later.